Your 20s are an exciting decade, for better or for worse. During this time, it's just as likely that you are a student, working, getting married, joining the military, moving cross country, starting a business, having kids, going to prison, joining a commune of groovy people, moving across the world, getting divorced, having roommates, leaving the military, filing for bankruptcy, or leaving that cult. It's really a mixed bag of activities. For the majority of people. Not for Amberlynn, though. She's figured out how to be cared for by others, going on 27 years in 2018. But this year, she has a significantly higher income from YouTube than she did before. She didn't need to have a day job to maintain a roof over her head, and her infamy only helped her popularity and checkbook. She had an audience.
And I'm also reading comments.
Why?
I was just reading my top comments, and they're all hate.
She didn't like that audience, but they did cover her absurdly low cost of living in Kentucky. She spent her disposable income on things that were digestible or overly frivolous. Rules, same as always. All data is based only on what Amberlynn has personally shared or shown in a video. No decimal points. 400.1 and 400.8 will both be tracked as 400. No guesstimating fluctuations between long gaps in tracking. Direct A to B connections only.
Her videos are starting to remind me of the movie Groundhog's Day. I've never seen it.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. They say our love won't pay the rent, for it's earned.
Because my orange chicken wasn't done yet.
She might be okay.
511.2 pounds.
Supposed to go get a gym membership today, so we're gonna be doing that. A lot of you can say like I'm making excuses, but I just think I'm gonna hold off on the exercising. I am gonna be moving a lot more, mainly because I have a Fitbit. My haters, the supporters, I can't be 100% healthy at this weight. It's just not possible. I'll probably have 3 or 4 of these.
Baby, you just gotta lose a little bit of weight. I know you can do it.
Actually ended up having 7 of these. I don't know if I can jump anymore. I'm like scared to jump. We haven't been tracking. We've been eating out on the daily. I eat candy on the nightly. So my weight today, I've never weighed this much ever. It seems too real when I say it out loud. My weight today was 500.6. Where I'm at right now is I know I need to do the 1600 calories. I know I have to. I'm just gonna like eat whatever I want until I see a nutritionist, and I'm gonna have, you know, the nutritionist just lay out a whole plan for me, but until then I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm bigger. I can't experience, you know, fun things. I'm 27 years old, living in a cage, and like I can't do anything. And people always wonder, why does Amberlynn go out to eat all the time? Why is that the only thing she does? And why does she go to the movies? It's because that's all I can do right now. People take walking for granted. People take most of these things for granted that I have to deal with on the daily. So, oh my god, I'm having so much fun, but I'm like actually dying. We're at the Cheesecake Factory again. I've gotten this 3 days in a row. Orange chicken, because it's so good. I ask myself all the time, how did I become this person? Because parents, I was put into foster care at a very young age, and I didn't get to leave foster care until I was 18. I suffer with food addiction, binge eating disorder, emotional eater. Just, I'm gaining weight because I am addicted to food. I am addicted to food. Actually had a psychic reading. I'm not sure how much I believe with psychic readings, but I recently had one, and they said that come the new year I'm actually going to be doing really good with weight loss, and how I'm gonna lose a large chunk of my weight. I want to believe it. I don't know, do you guys believe in psychics? I don't know.
Looking at our data points, 2018 follows a trend of previous years, yet somehow way, way worse. Like usual, Q1 starts off strong, physical activity and watching what they eat, which results in weight loss. Hooray! Just being mildly aware of what they were eating had them lose almost 20 pounds in January. Their significant other, Beck, joined in for weight loss solidarity. Bex wasn't a paragon of nutritional education, but they would attempt to stick to a calorie limit and exercise with Amber. Having a partner join you in weight loss is a great way to stay motivated and encouraged. January always starting off strong, that never seems to get farther than March. Q2, like usual, she gains weight and has surpassed her starting weight, which is my theory on why she weighed in 10 times in April, the most of any month in 2018, only because she was in the 490s, monitoring if she'd be 500 pounds. No shocker, she did cross that threshold, given the, everything.
I'm just trying to get some steps in. We just had Cold Stone.
When she isn't tracking weight, she is gaining weight. We've seen it in action time and time again. And that doesn't count her tracking her weight and just not telling us. If she is just blatantly not checking it, she is gaining weight. There are multiple instances where I think she is checking her weight and just not sharing it. An example at the end of 2017 when she was 497 and then somehow lost 10 pounds to be 488 in the beginning of the year. I'm sure she did check her weight. She might have crossed 500 then, but she didn't want to share that she crossed that threshold just yet. After the big 500, she took a month off before checking again in June. Given the one factor that's been true to this day, she gains when she doesn't track, and she clocked in at 508.
508.6. 508.6. It clicked for me differently than it has been.
Q3 is where I personally can't decide if she is denying her reality or avoiding it entirely. July to September just keeps on going upwards with minimal attempts at changing. She begins checking her weight again regularly in July, but does nothing else, so she just keeps on gaining. Q4 plays out at a stronger peak before ever so slightly dipping before the inevitable November to December rebound at 550 pounds. This increase continues into Q4, hitting 556 pounds in December.
There are people out there rallying that I'm gonna reach 600 pounds by Christmas. So that's cute. We just had Cold Stone.
Sure, they lost 7 pounds to end the year on December 21st at 549 pounds, but when you're already a quarter ton, gaining or losing 7 pounds doesn't seem like much when you're already the size of a hippo, and that is not a disparaging fat joke. An adult pygmy hippo weighs around 500 pounds. 2018 is the most similar to 2015 with a drastic increase, but 2018 was far, far more dramatic. In 2015, she shot up 64 pounds after moving in with Destiny to the Process Peninsula. In 2018, she gained 87 pounds from January to December. She had none of the limitations that Crystal or their family imposed on them, and could eat whatever they wanted. Within financial means, of course. Having to work for their own food money meant they couldn't always go out to eat whenever they wanted. But by 2018 with Bex, they had no limitations to what, when, and how much they wanted to eat or spend. Mo money, mo problems. Amberlynn had a decent following at this time, and was clearly making money on YouTube if they didn't need to work a secondary job. Based on some very basic guesstimations, I'm guessing Amberlynn was only spending between $300 to $800 for rent and utilities. I'm sure she threw gas money around to Bex, the cheap animal food, to her ex, and her ex's significant other, a totally normal thing to do. Since she was someone that depended on other people her entire life, this is the first couple years where she can spend her own money in excess while covering needs like bills and rent. She'd been rightfully criticized for depending on others financially as an overall able-bodied adult.
Work at home jobs I would not be able to do because the internet on my laptop jobs wouldn't approve me anyways.
You sure about that?
There is no way I can get income.
Sure about that?
I honestly think she thinks it's not worth criticizing because it's different now. Yes, she weighs more than an adult reindeer. Yes, she's still a very ignorant of the world and how things work in it.
You play foosball in real life. That's called soccer.
Yeah, she still neglects her physical and mental health. But now she's paying for her own processed garbage and online crap. So we should get off her back. Hitting 500 pounds was probably a very jarring realization. Being in the 400s wasn't anything new to her. She shared she hit 420 as a teenager and was able to lose the weight with assistance from adults in her life at the time.
If you guys don't know my story, my starting weight was 420. I went all the way down to 331, so I lost 89 pounds.
Being in the upper 300s is still incredibly overweight, but less bad than 400. It was a line she's danced before hitting 400 again in March of 2015. This is around the time period where Crystal broke up with Amberlynn. I don't think it was exclusively because of her weight, but that obviously didn't help. But 400 pounds, whatever, she's been there before as mentioned. She lost it, she was fine. But 500 pounds, that's new. From her lowest recorded weight of 349 pounds in May of 2014 to her highest weight at 556 pounds in December of 2018, she gained over 200 pounds in a 4-year, 8-month time period. This time period being the only time in her life where she was making her own financial and dietary decisions with no real outside influence or limitation. We all gain and lose weight in our life for a litany of reasons. For most of us, it's exceedingly unlikely that it will be 200 pounds, which takes us to the sad fact that she is likely avoiding reality and denying it when it's too much for her to handle.
Of course, yeah, I can lose weight doing Weight Watchers and still eating McDonald's. And
when life gets hard, Amberlynn seeks comfort. Her form of comfort causes her problems that makes life hard.
I get tired doing anything. I get tired doing anything. Even just sometimes I catch myself, even I'm just sitting and I have to take like a really deep breath, like I just got done walking. I'm like, girl, you didn't do anything, like.
And the snake continues eating its own tail.
Sometimes I just feel like I need to talk. I feel really alone. You know, I was just editing videos and I was doing it in here. I don't like spending time in my room. You know, therapy will help you, but therapy doesn't help everyone. The 24 hours in my room challenge or something, because I've literally, like, the only time I've left my room, shower, to go to the bathroom, to get me some leftovers. It was like that healthy meal I cooked the other day. I've just been like trapped in this here room.
Mental health and wellness is very complex. Education on it is ever evolving and is being studied and reviewed extensively by professionals to assist with people with genetic or trauma-based disorders and illnesses. Even without a proper disorder, it can be beneficial to seek mental health professionals like a counselor, licensed therapist, or psychologist to help develop personalized tools for your long-term wellness. Life is very stressful and anxiety-inducing. Look at everything. For Amberlynn, she could afford to see a therapist to assist in cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical behavioral therapy, but she doesn't go to either of those by choice. She states it would be hard to go to therapy, to press on her awful childhood and accept what happened to her and properly deal with it without a medium soda being involved.
Because me talking to someone means I have to go deep within my past and talk about my past, and that's not something I really want to do. I'm so scared.
Your upbringing was not your fault, but your behavior as an adult absolutely is in your control. She wasn't traveling, she wasn't learning, she wasn't growing in any way but physical in her 20s. It was this sad state of arrested development, expecting things to be better without the work. Anything worth doing takes work, and slowly but surely things can change for the better. Therapy isn't just an antibiotic you take to fix one problem. It's to help you develop your own arsenal of methods to function in the world with your mental health. You have to invest in yourself if you want to change or improve. It's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple.
I'm very happy that I have decided to have a therapist. I need to work on what I went through in the past before I can ever even try to remotely be successful in any type of weight loss. I will say though, it's freaking expensive.
This is where the audience gets exceedingly frustrated, since to this day Amberlynn is in a different tax bracket than her day job having viewers, based exclusively on being a lol cow, than by any merits or work ethic.
I wish people could walk in my shoes for a minute. I really do.
For most Americans, mental health treatment is a luxury. Appointments and medication can get very expensive, even with insurance. For example, I myself can't get an HSA, and I really only qualify for FCBT through my own insurance policy. Contrary to what she thinks, it's not that the audience likes her more if she's losing weight. It's just the audience sees a 5'3" woman that weighs as much as an adult black bear. We all view her the exact same way we see an addict living on the streets yelling at trash cans. You feel pity for them and wish that they had people dedicated to help them, since no mentally well person would willingly live a life like this. Which is where Amberlynn overall laziness comes into play. She won't do anything unless forced to do it. She has no mental fortitude to deal with challenging things in life and will seek comfort even if it's damaging long term. Building up mental strength is just like physical strength. You need to push yourself or no gains will occur. I also just want to stay in bed and watch TV and eat comfort foods. I'm sure all of us feel this way a lot of the time. But we have people to take care of. We have bodies to care for. We have income to earn to maintain shelter over our heads. We rest when we can, but that's not always a luxury. Amberlynn has time, money, and a chauffeur that will take her around to do whatever her struggling heart desires. Her income was used just to eat junk food or buy junk online made by Southeast Asian children. She expresses being scared that therapy will make her face her unfortunate childhood. I bet that will be hard, and that will be scary, but it can't possibly be worse than living in a body that weighs more than an adult lion 24/7. 2018 ended worse than 2017, 2016, and 2015. Her mental health clearly playing a role in her dumpster body, and the lifetime of processed food oil clearly being the only fluid in her brain. Buckle up, because we aren't even at the worst part of this sad ride. This was all just the preamble. We continue on to exceedingly dire levels in the years to come. The roller coaster really does just keep going and 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 going.
572.4 pounds.
Live your life as best you can.
You can't help someone who isn't ready to be helped.
Stop it. Get some help. McDonald's wants you to give yourself a chance to find out all the wonderful things you really can be. And so do I.